Hi. I got a tape I want to play. Colorful bunting and drapery about the stage evoke a campaign rally. A raised podium dominates the stage off-center, while a huge 65-inch ultra-uber definition monitor dominates center stage, changing color as the speaker changes his mind.
Come on.
Literal pedestrian references glitch over a literal old-school projection screen. Max enters.
I'm entering. They can see me.
A fat, graying, cis white man who's almost 50.
Hey, you mad about something?
Face up to the facts.
Roy G. Biv is a son of a bitch. Fear not, dearest congregation. He tells only truth, but he claims perfect pitch. These bouts of lyricism shall be brief and despotic. How can I manage that it must just be me? All shall be revealed as nonsense. We sing the love of danger, which means you don't have to abuse yourselves trying to piece it all together. The love of courage, boldness, and rebellion in 2 cents. We begin, we glorify life at the double. The slapping, we begin. We glorify the slap and the punching fist. The mutual, and we begin, but Beria.
We begin tonight's drunken rant with manifestos.
It's not gonna be a something fundamentally wrong with a blue circle. This isn't Russia, is it, Danny? I didn't think so. It may be that this isn't your thing at all. A yellow circle. But don't worry, it'll be over soon enough. And it's gonna be flashy.
Flashy.
A green triangle, yellow
Stand
circle,
by,
blue
moving
square,
on.
or a green triangle, yellow circle, blue
Moving
square.
on.
All these are
Stand by,
different and have
scene
different
one,
spiritual
my
values.
one-man
To
show
oppose your
by
ABCs is a
Silver,
natural thing,
one
hence the
reasons
plural.
possible.
All constructions converge on
Scene
perfection,
one
which is
in
born.
5,
My favorite line is the next one I write, or
4,
steal. Thus saith, Kobach!
Kovanka.
It's 1997, and I've just moved to New York City. Donald J. Trump is a registered Democrat. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Vladimir J. Putin is head of the FSB. John Leguizamo dominates Broadway, and I am the non-equity stage manager of Morning, Noon, and Night for Spalding Gray at PS 122. Run, 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 run. Spalding's pre-show ritual was to iron his costume, a flannel shirt and khakis. The producers were lying.
This costume was identical to the flannel
This
and
costume
khakis
was
he wore
identical to the
theater
flannel and
would
khakis
wear
he had worn
home
to the
afterward.
theater and would wear home afterwards. The producers wish to note that no entity, corporal or corporate, vouches for the validity of any information presented herein. Zip! While all material presented can be considered truth in a poetic, comedic, musical sense, no claims are made towards the material's factual accuracy. I visited 11 nations that didn't exist when I was born. 2 nations that don't exist now, and 1 nation that's never existed. D. Not 1 yard of the Hudson River Drive runs alongside any river. Do. Putin's grandfather was Stalin's cook. Da. Abalu is a bear. 3 of these things are true. The producers also wish to note that they do not, in an existential sense, exist.
Pravda.
As much as I long to be John Leguizamo, Spalding Gray, Danny Hawk,
Annie Sprinkle.
real to real, I didn't feel like I had a sensitive, hilarious, autobiographical one-man show in me. I just laughed. I mainly couldn't... I mainly couldn't do a one-man show because I didn't own enough hats to play all the requisite characters. Laughed so hard, and also because I didn't resent my father. Da does not mean anything. Then about 10 years ago, something wonderful happened. My dad became a dick.
Dick.
So hard at a joke on Bob's Burgers. C'est que je fais ce soir-là. He was probably always a dick, and I didn't notice when I was a teenager like you're supposed to. C'est que a dit ce soir-là. But his selfish midlife crisis granted upon me the gift of abandonment. That by the time I could stop and catch my breath, that you weren't there to laugh with me. Over-dramatic, victimized despair. Sad moji. Realism, mon espoir. Je me lance vers le gloire, okay. Over-dramatic, victimized despair. Artist gold. Allowing me to compose this most direct, autobiographical, non-allegorical story time ever. A piece without theatrical subterfuge or device, an objective rendering without editorial edifice or analogy, a jaw-droppingly adrenaline rush-provoking high-wire act certain to draw such pull quotes as, I'm not exactly sure what I'm watching here, and what the hell was the point of that? And I really liked the stage manager.
Aw.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my keen, sensitive, hilarious, autobiographical one-man show entitled 101 Reasons to Thank Your God for Vladimir J. Putin.
Complete with a call to action. Stand by Mardi Gras beads, 1 of 4. Throw on tips, please.
101 Reasons to Thank Your God for Vladimir J. Putin.
Putin, topless on a horse. Putin, topless on a tiger. Vladimir J. Putin, show us your tits!
An anecdotal sermon, stump speech, and TED Talk that promises only to deliver on none of its promises.
With a call to action.
Guaranteed surefire techniques for sanity and survival in these uncertain times.
No refunds. With a call to action.
With 3 vague suggestions, 1 impossible request, 2 passive-aggressive insults, and a simple solution to save humankind, and
Say it.
and a single call to action.
Sincere enthusiasm.
Yes, we will make sense of this whole mess with a call to action at
Not
the end
really
of this.
sense.
Right? You're gonna love it.
Not really love it.
It's basically a show about the show we're doing right now in front of you.
It will be a little much.
We have here a slice of time capsule. Vladimir J. Putin, whether he is to you the epitome of the other, or you have gotten a good sense of his soul by looking into his steely, ice blue eyes. First draft of this piece shall arbitrarily be dated the spring of 2015, at which time we'd roughed out a little allegorical ditty about Vladimir J. Putin. Because I get a boner for dictators. That's one of the 101 reasons. Oh. You know I get a boner for an autocrat. You know I'm all too messing for a tyrant. Quit your stolen Uncle Joe and sit on my lap pole. Party with tacky Mugabe, you slappo. I need to toss your salad, Mr. Caesar. Ceausescu, don't you be a naughty teaser. Get Cleopatra here right now, you know I could please her. Cause Putin makes me hard. Da.
Number 87, because dictator boners.
Dictator boners, Nadrovia.
Eyes.
As a courtesy, we decided to save the FSB a step. We'll be simultaneously translating the show into Russian. Please welcome Ivan the Translator.
Всем добрый вечер, меня зовут Моника Фурман.
Ivan here will be good enough
Моника?
to... Ivan the Translator.
Моника Фурман!
Ivan here
Стоять!
will be good enough to help our exploration by giving us a feel for the ear of our very subject, a glimpse into the head of Vladimir J. Putin.
Я нашла эту книжку в туалете, называется «Армия. Ночь. Прочеряй все их подвохи».
So
Так
she
я
will
буду
say
читать.
exactly
Всё,
what
что
I'm
он
saying,
говорит.
except
Только
she will
будет
say
так,
it
как
in
New
Russian.
York Times.
Yes,
Да,
yes.
да,
Thank you.
спасибо.
You're welcome.
Пожалуйста.
Friend,
Друг,
good,
хорошо?
very good.
Очень хорошо.
Korova Milk Bar.
Clockwork Orange.
Where are we?
You are nowhere.
Thank you now here. Nonchalance. Now, as luck would have it, when I began composing this piece, psychic automatism in its pure state,
Automatism.
Vladimir J. Putin was the scariest politician on the planet, by which one proposes to express it. But that production was put off by such a sad story of maternal dementia and slow death, you'd think I was remounting Eugene O'Neill.
Because you don't steal theatrical elements.
Hey, Andrew Schneider didn't invent the fucking picture frame! The actual functioning of thought. And half the shit I'm stealing from Andrew, we just both stole from Liz LeCompte, you stole it from Richard
Забирай
Schechner,
меня
from
скорее,
Spalding
возьми за 100 морей и целуй меня везде, я же взрослая, уже крошка моя, я по тебе скучаю, я у тебя письма не получаю, ты далеко, я даже не скучаешь, но я...
I feel like maybe you're not following me that closely anymore.
Я буду трахать твое ухо.
Maybe you could translate a little quieter.
Может быть, я могу перелепить маленькие цветочки и помочь твою маленькую историю?
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Красивые, красивые цветочки.
Oh, great. That's... Sure.
Ты должен быть больше интересный.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now what?
Take a shot for stopping the show and then talk about fair use.
Thank you, shot.
Ой, спасибо.
На здоровье.
На здоровье.
На здоровье. Что? Почему?
Prop vodka.
Что?
Stage vodka.
Почему?
Ask Mr. 12-Step here.
Ой, хорошо, что я принесла мой собственный.
Allow me to introduce our stage manager, Laventry Beria.
Hello.
О, это не смешно.
It's a little funny.
And I'm not just stealing from Andrew Schneider. We've barely started and recording fair use. Andrew Schneider, Baz Furman, David Byrne, Eric Brenner, Fred Ogg, Ian Fleming, Lizzo, Martin Denton, Niccolo Machiavelli, Richard Schechner, Sean Shana, Tony Schwartz, Vasily Kandinsky, Aaron Sorkin, Aaron Dale, Daylight, come on. I've made Liz LeCompte cry on 3 separate occasions. It's 2015 and semi-unrelated to my dad becoming a dick. My mother goes crazy and dies. I once did whippets with Adam McKay in Matt Besser's basement. And I have to go to Nashville to get blamed for it so her sisters feel better. I've dated a Russian countess. And that dementia and dying and getting blamed took all summer. A yonker is a yonk million. 3 of these things are true. So, by the time I crawl back out of that sweaty, passive-aggressive carnival of it's 2016, and Vladimir J. Putin is no longer the scariest politician on the planet.
Правда.
We've got our Putin wannabe threatening an authoritarian oligarchy for our very own country. I got my batches and cookies, so of course I immediately begin a new draft of my keen, sensitive, hilarious, autobiographical, I got my batches and cookies, one-man show now entitled 101 Reasons to Thank Your God for Donald J. Trump!
Trump Tower, Trump Airlines, Trump Card, Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Mortgage, Trump a Dump, Trump Some Pump Snuffleupagus.
An anecdotal sermon, stump speech, and TED Talk that promises only to deliver on none of its promises. I resent that adults can see Snuffleupagus now. It's been like 20 years that adults can see. There is no statute of limitations on resentment.
With a call to action.
Yes, we will make sense of
Not
this
really
whole
sense.
mess with a call to action at the end of this piece. You're gonna love it.
Not really love it.
Macedonia.
На это шоу.
Because alcohol.
Reason number 73, thank your God for Donald J. Trump.
Because every night of every year of every month of the year, people raise a glass to the concept. Fuck this reality. We shall create a new one.
На здоровье.
На здоровье.
О, никто не говорит на здоровье, когда мы пьем.
Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
Okay, we're just about ready to get started.
Get started. We're 10 minutes into a 40-minute piece.
We've got our 101 reasons up on the cards here. Remember that gooey you took instead of ooey, and our low-budget randomizer, a 2d10, or 2 dice with 10 sides each. For those of you who were getting laid in high school instead of playing D&D with my friends and me, I need 2 of these for my baby booey. Hey, maybe if I was trying to get laid in high school instead of just sitting around with my friends playing D&D and being fat, maybe I'd have realized my dad was a dick back then. Psychological breakthrough. Can you hide the dooey, your mystery machine? Reason number 47 to thank your God for Donald J. Trump, Vladimir J. Putin, and my dad who's a dick because psychological breakthrough.
I question your dramaturgical structure. Why is psychological breakthrough a reason to thank your God for Donald J. Trump or Vladimir J. Putin or whoever?
Whomever.
My dad who's a dick.
And what the hell does the J stand for?
Donald John Trump.
You've been saying Vladimir J. Putin.
Jesus H. Christ.
Jesus H. Christ.
Jesus H.
What
Christ.
does the H stand for?
Harry S. Truman.
Harry S.
Harry S.
What does the S stand for?
Exactly.
Понимаешь, потому что S в Harry Truman никогда ничего не значилось. Это все очень умно. Это драматург как Антон Чехов.
I liked it better when you were reading your book.
А мне нравилось лучше, когда твой рот был закрыт.
As it turns out, I've been calling him Vladimir J. Putin since the first draft, before connecting him so specifically to Donald John Trump.
Because you're Cassandra.
Because reason number 27.
Reason number 27 is coincidence.
Oh, what a coincidence!
Stand by Mardi Gras beats 2 of 4 once again on Tits, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 101 Reasons to Thank Your God for Donald J. Trump, Vladimir J. Putin, and my dad who's a dick. My
Trump,
keen, sensitive,
strangling,
hilarious,
illegal, Putin,
autobiographical,
strangling,
one-man
illegal,
show
Max's
style
dad,
performance
who's a
pastiche
dick,
that promises
someday, dick
only
that never
to
gets
deliver
explained.
on none
Donald
of
J.
its promises.
Trump, show us your dick!
With 3 vague suggestions, 1 impossible request, 2 passive-aggressive insults, a simple solution to save humankind,
Dang it.
and a fucking call to action!
Hooray!
So let's give a nod to dramaturgical structure and double back to number 1.
I am certain you wanted to skip number 1.
Мы номер один, мы номер один, мы номер один!
Number 1, the number 1 reason to thank your God for Donald J. Trump, Vladimir J. Putin, and my dad who's a dick.
Well,
Wait for it.
I am.
Give me a little space.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not.
The number 1 reason to thank your God for Donald J. Trump, Vladimir J. Putin, and my dad who's a dick is because you're an asshole.
Good night, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Really sincerest apologies if you were looking for a ripe ribald, the only thing colder than a local talent all the winter, topical political commentary, a clever list feed of facts and opinions that endorse your worldview, thrift store shopping look like in the winter, a congregational and selfish promotion of communal pride and baseless self-esteem. You ain't gotta ask about it cause I've been her, riding in them chariots like we have been her, yeah sure,
You know.
yeah sure,
You know.
yeah sure,
You know.
Wait, what are we saying? Oh God, no, please don't leave me here. Save yourself 40 minutes of being called an asshole.
really like 25 minutes
Do
out.
check out Full Frontal on TBS. She's doing a great job with that relevant topical comedy thing. I can't believe. Thank you, my friend. They've got the full episode on YouTube Thursday mornings if you don't have TBS. After all this, you'll just be done. How she'll grieve and miss me when she goes away. I mean, there's going to be a couple laughs here tonight, but this imagination, which knows no bounds, is henceforth allowed to be exercised only in strict accordance with the laws of an arbitrary utility. Of course, the show will end and we can't just sit in this theater. But she's leaving me. We'll be moving on to the Brooklyn Comedy Collective on this stage at 10:30 p.m. Line.
Imagination therefore
generally prefers to abandon man to his lustreless fate. I don't actually understand though, because she really wants to. None of his gestures will be expansive. None of his ideas generous or far-reaching, but she'll dance and sing and even learn to fly. Events seen only as they relate to a welter of similar events, judged in relationship to events whose consequences are more reassuring than the others, with anyone but me.
Вы удручаете.
Shall we go to the randomizer?
Let's randomize. It is 07.
7, good throw, 007. All appreciate the surrogate spy with an ornithologist moniker, but time goes so slow. It's not that the best Bond villains were Russian. In fact, Warfield, the best, was archetypal Bond villain born in
Archetypical?
Gdynia, when all I have to do is sit around and cry, which is in Poland now, had been part of Germany when the character was born. It's been in Russia and Germany each again in the meantime, and might be in Russia again by the end of this show.
Бабуины.
Oh, if you're ever in Gdynia, eat the herring. If you're ever in Gdynia, go to hell. If you're ever in Gdynia, you'll surely get to Tinia. That truth be told, you'd rather seek a dance. Bum, bum. You know, hell is a real place. 1L. It's the end of a sandbar like 12 miles north of Gdansk. I'd be a fool to try and fool myself that way. I once did a show in Gdansk, and my girlfriend went to hell with a Dutch painter and a German intern.
And?
That's it. They had a pleasant afternoon, rented bikes, rode them around.
My girlfriend went to hell with a Dutch painter and German intern is not the setup for a joke.
Или порнография.
Not everything has to be a joke.
Stormy Daniels as the girlfriend.
It has to be.
Skin Diamond as the
This is
intern.
totally-
And Ruud van der Rekker as the Dutch artist.
James Bond.
Thank you, James Bond. Please, thank your God for Vladimir J. Putin. Not because he's being played by Donald Pleasance, nor because Trump is being played by Mike Myers.
Spot shot.
Really, that's exactly the easy joke we were trying to avoid in this thing? Do you really think there's any such thing as an easy joke? Then you're the asshole! Number one, Nostrovia!
Ice.
Oh, I
Thank my God for Vladimir
thank
J.
my
Putin.
God for Vladimir J. Putin, because lie.
Because between the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the first
Presidency of Vladimir J. Putin in 2000, we've had to deal with these CGI Pierce Brosnan cartoons as our James Bond surrogate.
What's wrong with Pierce Brosnan?
No. I know she hasn't one regret. You are wrong about this. You can like Roger Moore's charming laxity over Sean Connery's relative misogyny. Stop it! You stop it! I can't stop it. I'm stuck.
Well, get
Unstuck. Fuck you. You get unstuck.
Okay, that did it.
You good now?
Good now.
Because she hasn't had one since. But nobody puts Remington Steele into their top 3 James Bondses.
Мне нравится Шон Коннери, Дэниел Крейг, Тимоти Далтон.
See, even
Но
I-
я люблю Пирс
You
Броснан.
do not.
I like
Don't tell me.
David Niven, Woody Allen, Peter Sellers.
Impressively
No,
satirical.
я
of you.
люблю Pierce Brosnan.
That's a spoiler. Fuck no!
That's
That's
no,
number
that's
7
also
because James Bond.
spoilers.
Fuck you, Pierce Brosnan. Not throw you.
Чтоб твои дети срали в твоим суп.
And I am to you too.
Hey, plane number 96, Russian roulette number 96.
Russian roulette. Somebody get the cold war, baby. Just get up and show up.
Russian roulette.
Now, our own version doesn't have a gun. We've got... How many shots of vodka do we have out here?
There is an ass load of shots of vodka.
There are an ass load.
And Laventry here has filled about
Exactly a
6
sixth.
of it,
Exactly a
exactly a sixth of an assload of shots are not prop vodka, but actual Russian-made Parliament vodka.
Водка!
And while this seems like a mere fraternity game, the stakes are slightly higher tonight, for if I hit one of the booze bullets, there will be a grand prize. The nightmare of materialism, which has turned the life of the universe into an evil, useless game, is not yet past. That grand prize is my own personal Bronze Alcoholics Anonymous Recovery Medallion. Pretty colon, Anson, and Kuzel. All right. This medallion will be bestowed upon whatever asshole inevitably beats my drunken ass in the bar downstairs after I've instigated the fight.
Instigator!
So honestly, we're crossing our fingers for a lucky round of drink selection tonight.
Polonium.
Thank you, Polonium. And to really raise the stakes, and as an extended courtesy to the Russian secret police, exactly one of this assload of shots has been dosed with the sadistically slow radioactive poison polonium-210. It holds the awakening soul still in its grip. Of a different style, like the shoes of government. Give the trust in cock afraid the girls. So every time we have a repetition in theme, dialogue, or for example, every time I call the audience an asshole,
Stop calling them
I
assholes,
don't
you
mean
need them.
anybody.
Человек социальное животное.
Just when it feels great, we'll take a shot. That's number 96 because of Russian roulette. Not at all, you.
Eyes.
Ай-ай, my slim flim. And it goes so go with me so. Eyes.
Halfway through and you have barely mentioned Trump yet.
Are you criticizing criticizing my dramaturgical
My
structure?
whole existence is a
Вы
criticism of your
забрали
dramaturgical
друг
structure.
друга!
And why have you been blowing off shots?
Because I impregnate you, moron.
Поздравляю!
Thank you.
I'm going to just grab
You
one.
gonna?
Number 11.
Armistice Day.
Armistice Day. The Time Machine author H.G. Wells in convincing British mothers.
And fathers.
Breathing golden ants and ankles, all right, to send their sons off to the trenches in unprecedented numbers as to defend themselves against the overmastering ambition and narrow-minded self-sufficiency of the German peoples. Why is nobody making their case? Make your case!
63.
I was never looking for this before you came along. Make your case is 63. We'll get to that presently. Overmastering ambition. In order to make his case to British mothers,
And fathers.
H.G. Wells coined the term the
The
war
war
to
to
end
end
all
all
wars.
wars.
A trait admired practically universally throughout America. Nay, the world. The war to end all wars took off as the meme to end all memes.
Remember the
Hope,
Alamo.
God.
Не забывайте Maine!
Overmastering ambition. You made me that I didn't realize I should be. But I am now for you. And when I think, and when 20 million of their sons died, and they already knew that catchphrase was bullshit,
Bullshit!
that even if you don't storm out of this theater in disgust, if you stay through to the end of the show,
Halfway there.
on the 11th minute of the 11th hour,
Make a wish!
on the 11th day of the 11th month, everyone fell silent. They shut the fuck up for like 2 minutes.
Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear.
No, not like 2 minutes, for literally 2 minutes. The first minute of silence to remember those lives they had lost. Which just reminds me there must be an end to this show. Good, bad, or indifferent. And the second minute of silence to remember those lives left behind. A moment of silence to remember themselves. And on the next November 11th,
Veterans Day.
on our next Veterans Day,
11-11, make a wish!
at 11:11, I ask you to take 2 minutes to revive that old tradition.
11. Call to action.
This isn't the call to action.
A call to actions.
Boom, boom!
Call to inaction.
Call to inaction!
At 11:11, I ask you to take 2 minutes to remember the war to end all wars, which, by the way, counting insurgencies and invasions and advisories, was 32 wars ago in 100 years for just the USA.
You do the math.
Есть моя математика делать.
Anytime anyone tells you to do their math, they don't really have a point to make. Don't fall for it. And don't insert punchline here either. If you're too lazy to come up with your own punchline, you don't get to present your thought as a joke. You're an asshole!
Which is number 1.
And you do the math!
You do the math is not a number, it's just a phrase you keep bitching about.
Neither.
Eyes, call to inaction.
At 11:11 on 11:11. Don't not think of all our war veterans for the whole day, of course, but at 11:11 I ask you to take 2 minutes to remember that whomever is in power will say anything they need to in order to send our future war veterans somewhere to fucking become war veterans if they're lucky. Let's show our war veterans some real respect by not making their numbers grow.
Правда! Make a wish!
Cast those dice, will you please?
Rolling. Number 68.
Number 68, because hippopotamuses.
Hippopotamuses.
Some time ago, I did a short tour of Zimbabwe.
You did not.
Totally true. It was extraordinary. Afterwards, we did a houseboat cruise on Lake Kariba.
The world's largest man-made lake by volume.
Exactly. Well done.
It says so here in my dramaturgical section.
Afterwards, we'd go on these marvelous game excursions in little 12-foot boats. I read that hippos were really the only animals that attack people.
Бегемоты и бабуины.
So I asked our guide, Jasper, these African bush guides are hardcore.
She says we've gotta hold on to what we've got.
To become a real bush guide, you've got to be able to strip down a Land Rover and put it back together in the dark. You know the English, Latin, and Shona names for all the flora and fauna you might come across.
'Cause it doesn't make a difference if we make it or not.
Your final test is to shoot a charging water buffalo. Apparently, There's only a teeny tiny spot on their whole head that a bullet will go through, so you gotta keep your cool.
Got each other, and that's a lot for...
Beria?
We're at number 68.
What the fuck was that?
Number 68, reason to thank your God for Donald J. Trump.
Hippopotamuses.
Hippopotamuses.
Бегемоты.
Thank you, hippopotamuses. So I asked our guy Jasper if he thought it was likely a hippo might overturn our boat. A boat this size? Yeah, the boat we're in. A hippo might attack this boat. So, Jasper, what should we do if a hippo attacks the boat? Do we get to the shore? Do we stay with the boat? If hippo attacks the boat? Yeah, what do we do if a hippo attacks the boat? If hippo attacks the boat, nothing you can do. The prospect seemed to cheer him up. And he was right. If I was to be killed by a hippo on a game excursion in Zimbabwe, that would be just dandy. Because everything must end somehow. That's number 68 because hippopotamuses! На здоровье.
Ice.
Самоубийство от бабуины.
Right. I've got a whole baboon story too you can ask me about in the bar after the show. The lobby. Not the bar. На здоровье. What the hell was that? What the hell was real vodka?
Uncommitted spit take.
Uncommitted. Fuck
Yes,
you,
uncommitted.
uncommitted.
You call that slapstick Russian roulette 1 in 6, number 96?
But not really. I can't have this.
Do a real full take commit.
I have a commitment to my sobriety.
Ну
Do
давай,
it,
ты
you half-ass,
праздный
idle dumb
человек.
dog take.
Пей
Do a
уже,
solid
боже
slapstick
мой.
When he found out what he'd done, he dashed the glass upon the floor. And he staggered through the door with delirium, tremens.
This is selfish and stupid.
You made me read a book called Truth and Comedy.
But we don't have any real polonium in any of these classes.
Apparently polonium-210 is massively expensive.
Well, thank the
So
goodness
thank
for
the
that.
goodness for that NEA grant. Ka-ching!
Ka-ching! I'm not getting paid for this.
Apparently polonium-210 is massively expensive.
Why don't you roll the dice?
I'm gonna roll the dice.
You might find yourself
Number 2.
number 2, the Second Amendment of another part of the world. The Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. In our bubble, it's the least popular of the Bills of Rights.
Грамматика.
But if ever you needed a window to empathize or sympathize with your red state cousins,
Because empathize, sympathize is number 82.
and goodness knows we do need a connection with them.
Because who is your they is number 23.
We'll get to both of those presently. Triangle. Number 2, the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. This is not my beautiful wife. Designed for the purpose of, among other things, making sure the executive branch is not in control of every weapon in the country. Sure, you can make your case. Make your case, number 63. Third base. You can make your case that there should be limits, guidelines, etc. But great. Out-of-date amendment. The city ain't no place for women, but pretty men go there. Are you really okay with Donald J. Trump being in charge of all of the guns in the country? The internal form contains the seed of the future within itself. Every single gun purged by trials and suffering in his tiny, now I really must, little hands. Tiny little hands, exactly the kind. I'm dainty. Number 2, the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America.
Правда!
Asshole, number 1, Laventry. All line. Oh, let's do 82.
Oh, number 82
Yes!
because sympathize, empathize.
I always get the two confused, like jealousy and envy. I can show sympathy that you're in a condition,
Oh my god.
but I have empathy that you have to clap.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god!
Water dissolving and water removing. There is water at the bottom of the ocean. I can be envious that you're taking a nice trip to South America. I've never been to South America, and I'd like to go there.
Let's drink to that.
Ой, let me show you how to toast.
Oh, thanks. На здоровье.
Слушайте,
Listen,
я пью
I drink
за наше взаимное одиночество.
to our mutual loneliness.
Я пью
I drink
за твои глаза,
to your eyes,
мертвые и холодные.
dead and cold.
Я пью
I drink
за твои губы,
to your lips,
лживые, коварные.
lying and treacherous.
И я пью
And I drink
за факт, что никакой Бог не нас спас.
to the fact that no God has saved us. Eyes.
But I don't want you not to go to South America. Remove the water, carry the water. Whereas I can jealously not want you to ever enjoy any other show you watch
Max!
after you leave me tonight. I'm off all tracks.
Сопереживание.
Thank you, empathy. Our observer seeks in a work of art a mere imitation of nature which can serve some definite purpose. If I'm a real bigot, it's because I lack any real empathy for you as a human. Not you! Maybe you. I can only see you as the narrow, superficial image I have of your group. Mugger, thief, I'm jealous you might take my job, or my women.
What?
I can only see you as the worst possibility of your religion. Fundamentalist, jihadist, born again.
Fundamentalism is number 66.
There was a time I thought and believed. I can only see you as the entrenched tribal group by which I'm identifying you. Racist, sexist, phobophobe. And if I'm ignoring your humanity to put you into a group, accuse, even if that group is one which ignores other people's humanity and individualism, that you and I meant the same thing when we said, then I'm the real bigot.
Number 37.
Natrovia!
And you're an asshole.
Give me a number!
Gimme. Number 33.
Because number 33, when we said we loved each other. Make the English language great again. What I most like in you is your unsparing quality. If we're going to criticize someone else for not talking words good, when we said we would be there for each other, then let's care about what they mean ourselves.
Call to action.
This isn't the call to action.
Sad emoji.
But you can decide to care. And I suppose it doesn't matter whether care that the words you use mean something. Realism stultifies both science and art by assiduously flattering the lowest of taste, clarity bordering on stupidity. Do yourselves and the whole world a favor.
Sounds like a call to action.
Nope, this is our impossible action.
Call to action!
Whether that time has simply passed, do yourselves and the whole world a favor and stop using sarcasm. My God, what have I done? It has been oft said that the lowest form of humor was the pun. 2 or 3 etchings of no value portraying some German girls with birds in their hands.
Не цитируй Достоевского своим грязным ртом!
But rejoice, malapropist, for you have been redeemed. Or whether the time of that total never was what I thought it was.
I love the point you're making right now.
All behold true sarcasm, primary tool of the uncommitted and unoriginal.
Because you're so original.
A trope once thought to convey intelligence, but co-opted like so many things by white people with money. And I suppose it doesn't matter whether... No, actually, well, maybe yes. Same as it ever was. Co-opted as a catch-all, an impulse towards brave individualism. Same as it ever was. Yet exposing the deepest of conformities and fear of ostracism. Same as it ever was. For what soul-bearing must you do to have a detailed opinion or sincere reaction?
I'm totally enraptured with your totally interesting monologue.
How much easier to swing the blunt linguistic club of passive, vague disapproval and superiority, you fucking asshole.
Max, duh.
Because number 33, make the English language great again, our impossible action. Natrovia.
Ice.
Roll me some dice, please.
You need to do a Trump one.
Natrovia. No one really wants to hear it from... Where am I found? Roll me some dice, please.
Number 27.
Number 27, coincidence?
Coincidence.
Didn't we already do coincidence?
We mentioned it.
What a coincidence.
Huh.
Putin's paternal.
Yes.
I have done theater on 5 continents. How? I stole a municipal trash can from Rome so I could have an official SPQR stamp. And I can recite Jabberwocky by heart, probably. Posta. Wuzzle means to mix. Get home! 3 of these things are true. Putin's paternal grandfather, Spiridon Ivanovich Putin, was a chef who cooked for both Lenin and Stalin. People historically bad at drawing conclusions. We don't like a coincidence. When one ceases to feel, one should keep quiet. We actually feel safer with the idea that some malicious conspiracy is running everything. Now, both Lenin and Stalin died of strokes at the height of their power. But it was rumored that each of them might have been poisoned. Coincidence? Walking home and my feet all sore? You do the math. What the hell are these Louboutins for? Yes, it was absolutely just a coincidence. The grandfather wasn't cooking for either of them when they had their strokes.
Я немного разочарована.
Yeah, that did feel like the setup for an expose.
Sorry, sometimes things are just a coincidence.
Huh.
Number 27, coincidence. Nadrovia.
Eyes.
What's next?
Chutzpah.
Fucking you do math, you're an asshole.
Мы номер один, мы номер один.
The number one reason to thank your God for Donald J. Trump, Vladimir J. Putin, and my Vlad who's a dick because you're an asshole. Number one, Nadrovia. Opa.
Opa.
Nadrovia.
Eyes, please.
Nope. Nadrovia.
Eyes.
Damn prop vodka. Nadrovia.
Eyes. Thank you.
Да.
Hey, Max, we can take a break.
The show must go on. We've got showmanship.
And chutzpah.
Oh, number 45, chutzpah. The nerve.
Chutzpah.
The audacity.
Chutzpah.
The cheek.
Chutzpah.
The brass.
Chutzpah.
The effrontery, the presumption, the arrogance.
Chutzpah.
The total denial of personal responsibility.
Chutzpah.
Oh, find what's up with you. In a city where we pay $2 for a bottle of drinking water, then weepily reblog indignant links about the garbage island and children without access to uncontaminated drinking water. It's often hard to identify true, bold chutzpah. So we vent our passive-aggressive fury on gaggles of entitled drunkards and take up the whole sidewalk, or the audacious dude with his legs spread wide on the subway who nobody asked them to move. These people aren't boldly presumptuous, they're just oblivious. And honestly, if you're Google shaming the man spreader but you didn't use your words and ask him for the seed, then you're the asshole.
Number one.
Nadrovia. And you do the math.
Eyes.
But thank the goodness that our big, huggy bear authoritarians are here to give us a solid example of real true chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
When you head off any press criticism by labeling them the enemy of the people, that's pretty good chutzpah. Where the hell am I? It's pretty good chutzpah, but it's not great chutzpah. Not great chutzpah. It's not Putin-level chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
More than a dozen reporters who had been critical of the Putin regime have met with either accidents or outright assassination.
И самоубийство.
Or suicide. A song came on and hit the dance floor. After Anna Politkovskaya's
Аня
murder...
Политковская.
Anna Politkovskaya's murder...
Аня Политковская.
Anna Karenina's murder on
Аня
Putin's
Karenina.
She was murdered on Putin's birthday.
Putin.
He called her work insignificant and berated all the murdered reporters for the embarrassment they were causing the Russian government. Man, I lost my fucking phone! How dare they get themselves murdered and embarrass Putin, whereas all our guy can do is call a reporter dumb.
Chutzpah.
What? I promise there's nothing to worry about. Where's that waitress? There's some fucking song in the back. I once visited Transnistria, which doesn't actually... It just doesn't matter that I don't understand. The United States has never had a zero body count president. Stanislavski would have only real vodka on stage.
Правда.
Logical methods are applicable only for solving problems of a secondary interest. Because 44, Catherine the Great. Because 43, Peter the Great. Because 42, Life the Universe. Oh, it's all so glitchy. Obama killed about 8 people a day. Forbidden is any kind of search for truth which is not in conformance with accepted practices. Jimmy Carter once strangled an orphan with his bare hands. Where the hell am I? All right, we got this all together now. Home stretch. He's going and Anthony Kuzo. All right, we're going to get through all these cards.
We're like 4 minutes out.
I'm going to do all these reasons, and Greg Allen is going to buy us a pizza. Nadrovia.
Eyes.
Because too much light makes the baby go blind. Number 3, Nadrovia.
Eyes.
Because rule of threes makes number 9, Nadrovia.
Eyes, please.
So how many do we have left?
79.
So no pizza?
You can buy yourself a pizza.
But you can't already be given up. Oh, but But we already live in a fascist dictatorship, sarcastic
Because
simoji.
Reason number 17, you've already given up.
Not really.
Eyes.
We're counting on you to make sure Putin doesn't take over the whole judicial branch.
Trump.
Putin doesn't take over Trump.
Trump doesn't take over the whole judicial branch.
He doesn't?
We hope not.
I hope not too. That's right.
Eyes.
Ah! I want to do patriotism.
Do you want a drink of water?
Work written out of the author's real necessity and for his own benefit, because you've already given up on patriotism.
Stand by Mardi Gras beads 3 of 4 once again on tits, please.
And if it's not something that I've done, vortex, vertigo, newness, eternity, staggering absurdity, typography. Yeah, I want to deride flag-waving, eagle-praising, crew-cut munkalunks. After all, everyone dances to his own personal boom-boom munkalunks. But the flag! It's a grand old flag. Stripes so broad, stars so bright, absolute and unquestionable faith. That's not something that I failed to do. Consider patriotism outside of a jingoistic, nationalistic fervor, or worn as clothing or flown at night. Get that American flag off your ass!
Show us your tits!
In every god that is the immediate product of spontaneity, consider the pride we could take in being the first country in the world making it. Logic experience is a product of chance and individual faculties. The first country in the world making the effort towards the power of government as bestowed by the people. Life in a world surrounded by powerful governments, ruling without exception by divine right, the will of God. Science says we are the servants of nature. Everything is in order. Make love and bash your brains in. And if it's not something that I've brought with me, witness small cadres of revolutionary individuals, living and dying by the philosophy that power over humans. Roy G. Biv, power over humans should come from humans, and not the human's interpretation of the infinite. Have pride.
Call to action.
This isn't the call to action. We're almost there. It's much more important than pride.
Pride.
Goddess!
Pride! Have pride that this bold, unnatural idea has taken root. Strong, straight, precise, and forever beyond understanding. Take pride in the work and attention we must put forth in tending to these roots. Logic is a complication. If it's not something that I failed to provide.
Stand by final Mardi Gras beads once again on tits.
For all systems, logic is always wrong. All systems return to entropy. Pride!
And
therefore think of this flag as an example of that bravery, that individualism, that chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
So fly that star-spangled banner, but not on your ass.
Show us your tits!
That's number 86 because you're a grand old flag, not all of ya.
Eyes.
Stage manager.
Asshole who says words.
Wow. What does polonium taste like?
I don't know. Probably kind of like uranium.
Well, that's a relief. Where we all have a face. So home stretch.
You've got a ton of shit to wrap up.
Like 70 more reasons?
Like, why is your dad a dick?
I don't know. Maybe his dad was a dick to him. And I'd just be like,
What about him being a dick is interesting?
nothing really. Everyone's dad is kind of a dick, right? If it's not something you needed or didn't want.
It's part of the title.
No refunds!
Take a shot.
Spasibo. Some are satin, some are steel.
It's reason number 25 because it's a one-man show.
Some are silk and some are leather. This is very clearly not a one-man show.
It is in the style.
You didn't randomize. You're trying me to talk about my father.
You caught me. Take a drink.
Pajoista.
You know, actually we don't have word for enabler.
You do not have to talk about your dad. It's not going to make you feel better. Did he come to your mom's funeral?
Ой, блядь.
Why are we in yellow
Or
for so
since
long?
you all knew that she was dying, did he come and say goodbye and maybe not be such a dick?
He would have been a dick if he'd come,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't come. He was having a hard enough time, and my mother, so she wouldn't, I think so. I made my case that number 63, make your case! So Once I used to believe I was such a great romancer. Our reliance on sarcasm and emojum have robbed us of our forensic abilities. Then I came home to a woman. Make your case!
Nostrovia, how? Was your dad a dick?
He wasn't that bad. It's just good for the show title. Then I came home to a woman that I could not recognize. Her passive aggression and active disdain for opinions less evolved than ours has insulated us from the pesky requirement of making our case. It's not a Billy Joel free day. He got remarried because for which nobody could blame him for. Hashtag NABJFD. Falling in lockstep with our label mates. Conservative, progressive. But we've bought into our own showmanship.
Showmanship number 54.
I'm not convinced I've ever really had a Billy Joel free day. They were in love and she believed that his whole family was set to break them up. Progressive is just a label meant to make us feel like our ideas correspond with the progress of society. But we fooled ourselves into believing that progress is necessary and inevitable. Let us not forget the lessons of concrete and R2-D2. So then she was afraid to be alone. Progress is neither necessary nor inevitable. So then she was afraid. Forget not that the Romans paved and aqueducted the fuck all over Europe for like 500 years.
Ну, кости брошены!
If it's not something you needed or didn't want, and then Europe just lost the recipe. Whether Piano Man is playing in the deli, or Stiletto comes on the radio, and I can't make chess pie, or whether I find out a female friend lives uptown, or I find out I might be right about something. So then he was afraid. Forget not that in a linear timeline, non-dilettantism with friends and such behavior cliches. Afraid to lose her, afraid to be alone. So he chose to believe her and he proactively cut off everyone. In the linear timeline, R2-D2 had little jetpacks before he didn't have little jetpacks.
Ну, давай попьем за Kenny Baker.
Yeah, and a drink for Carrie Fisher.
Because number 48, fuck you, 2016! Nostrovia! Feelings! Because you're supposed to have the courage to just stand up for your entire family and not just listen to someone's stupid conspiracy theory on your telephone psychic! Or sometimes I can make it to the end of the day and think back and realize that nothing has really reminded me of Billy Joel today. And then, of course, it's not a Billy Joel free day. Because you're supposed to have the courage to lead a country with vision and integrity, and not as just the dumbest, scaredest, greediest asshole on a Black Friday Sharknado. No wonder I get a boner for dictators. I learned it from you, Dad.
Psychological breakthrough number 47.
And if you want a world that builds upon the social liberation and technology of the last century, instead of just losing the recipe and returning to a feudal Wild West Thunderdome in which all of the power flows to the people willing to do the most damage.
Whoa!
Feelings!
If you don't want that, then you better make your case.
Make your case, number 63.
Nostrovia!
And a psychological breakthrough you earned.
Hit on it.
And you justified the title.
Ты злорадствуешь!
Maybe a little.
It's not even the new title anymore. It's the old title.
Feel better.
I feel like I might have drank polonium.
You feel better.
Then what about your thing there a few minutes ago? You went and turned yourself into a tube for a whole minute. Triggered by a Bon Jovi lyric? We're just pretending none of that happened? Shall we move on?
Moving on, take a shot for stopping the show again.
Me stopping the show again? Okay.
Okay, let's pick it up from, where are we now?
Page 53. Let's pick up from...
Thank you, page 53.
Let's pick up from... Beria deliberately scans ahead in her script, turning.
And in conclusion.
And in conclusion.
О, спасибо, Putin.
That it must just be me. I come at long last.
And with great volume.
At long last to our call to action.
Orgasm sound!
Я пососала Сталина, чтобы это закончить.
How can I manage that it must just be me? The point of this show, the reason I haven't rated you for so long with these references references, these anecdotes. One thing I think you can do that we can do to wrap our minds around any of this. The one way we might make sense of this time, this world, this performance, the method by which we might use our reason and guide us through this unreasonable time and appreciate the ionesque absurdity of it.
What was the name? All the way, but here we go again.
The one
I got
thing
a
I'd ask you to
girlfriend
do
that's
to make
better
sense
than
of it all
that.
is to stop it.
She's got
Do
the
pay
smoke
attention.
in her
Put in
eyes.
all the information. Analyze it.
She's
Call out the
moving
bullshit
up,
when it's
going
bullshit.
right through my
You
heart.
continue to fight the good fight
She's
on
gonna
those
give
fights
me
that
some
need fighting.
prize.
But when confused, when faced
Better
with surreal
than this.
reality, a data is
Know
data,
that it's
a
right.
curious conundrum, a few
I
words
think
that
you
just level,
can if
then
you
please,
like.
for the love of the goodness, be confused.
Got a girlfriend with bows in her hair. Nothing is better than that. This is it.
My
Down.
call to action is to spurn that
Down
cold
in the
comfort your
basement,
feeble mind
we
seeks
hear the
in the
sound
warm
of
embrace of your
machines.
preconceived attitudes.
And
Because remember, no matter what you believe, most of the world believes you're wrong. So fuck it. Be confused, please, be confused. For when you allow an idea, a paradox to exist in your hot, supple brain,
Nothing is
without being
lost.
packed into a comfortable,
Everything's
predetermined
free.
thought, that is a free thought.
I don't care how impossible it seems.
Then you allow that thought to live, to expose itself to further analysis, to lead you to a different, better idea. We need you to find a different, better idea, because whatever revolutionary thought is going to get us through, whatever the fuck is actually going on right now, that brilliant thought enshrined as normality in 2 decades, that thought has not yet been thought.
I got a girlfriend that's better than that. She goes wherever she likes. There she goes!
So go practice. Go to other Chelsea galleries and look without reading any of the descriptions. Go see some music and just listen. Forget about the douche point in the club and just feel the fucking rhythm.
I
Go
got
look
a
at the shades,
girlfriend
clouds,
that's
and
better
everything.
than that.
Go spend a week in a
Now
city where you
everyone's
don't
getting
know the
involved.
language. Enjoy the sunset. Get a little
As
high.
we get
Go
older
be
and stop
confused.
making
We're
sense,
counting on you. Stop
will
making
find
sense.
her waiting
People
long.
of paradox. There's a positive peak.
Stop making sense. Stop making sense. Stop making sense, making sense. I got a girlfriend that's better than that. Nothing is better than this.